What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV, and at long last, welcome back to 5 Things We Learnt. It's been a minute. It's been way too long since we've done this show, but the people have spoken. We are back, and 5 Things We Learnt are back. Just a shame it's after a 0-0. I'll be so real. It's not really the best game to bring the show back with, but we're here, innit? 5 Things We Learnt, Chelsea Fan TV. Big up every single one of you that's locked in. Big up to all the kings and queens watching on day 36 of the 1,461-day reign as your world champs. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. And that's been a bit of a frustrating weekend for your world champions. The 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace, a result that nobody really expected. A lot of us had respect for Crystal Palace, but with the way that we've been playing over the last 4 months, we figured that this would still just be a game that we'd flex and show our muscles in. But instead, we just seemed a little bit flat, a little bit uninspiring. Good defensively. I won't knock that. And I think that's the same that would go for both teams. I think both teams were very good defensively in this game. But that also showed in the scoreline and also the amount of big opportunities in that game, because there weren't really a lot for either team. And the first point I wanted to make coming out of this match is that there isn't any real need to panic. There really isn't. Because I didn't see anything that said the system is a problem. I didn't see anything that said we could be in big trouble over the next couple of games, especially with the fixtures that we have over the next few games as well. West Ham, who are utter garbage, next match. Fulham, which will be a test, but they like playing expansive football as well, so I think that would suit us. And then Brentford away after the international break. These guys look like relegation candidates too. I think there's a very good opportunity for us to just get back to where we should have been yesterday, which is just winning games. And if I look at the way that game went out, it didn't give me any alarm bells. It just came down to individual performances, some late subs again, which I will delve into a little bit later. Or to be fair, I could just say it now. I think Liam Delap could have come on a little bit earlier. Just because João Pedro was getting kicked out of the game anytime he got the ball. And it was the limited times that he did get on the ball because our build-up play wasn't really good enough for us to even involve him in the match like that. But where he did get the ball, clamped immediately. And that's why I think Delap would have been a bit better for us, because he's just a little bit more combative, just a little bit more aggressive. And I think that would have suited us a bit more in that game. Maybe even bringing him on with João Pedro and having 2 strikers up top. The only problem with that is you're likely losing a midfielder to do that, which might cause a bit of problems in transition. So maybe the 2 striker formation might not have worked in this sort of game. But it's an idea that I'm just thinking about. But ultimately, I think the lap could have come on a bit earlier. But I don't see any real reason to panic through this game. Saw some positives, saw some negatives. Let's say the negatives to me were Enzo and Cole Palmer. Both our creators just fell off a cliff in this game. And without those creators, look at how much we made in that game. This is why, and it leads to my second point, Javi Simmons. We need to get Javi Simmons across the door ASAP. For games where Cole Palmer isn't necessarily doing up Cole Palmer, I think this is where a Javi Simmons would be so important for us, because it just takes a bit more of the workload off him. Right now, it's still to a point if Cole Palmer ain't really cooking, our attack suffers as a result of it, which is going to happen when your best player ain't doing well. That's why you've got to accommodate for that. And I think Javi Simmons is the perfect accommodation for that. So hopefully we get this transfer done over the next couple of days, because just to have that extra option for creativity, I think would be so, so important for us. But yeah, I think that was our biggest problem individually in yesterday's game. Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, both weren't great. Both weren't cooking. And we saw that the food was all undercooked as a result of that. But it wasn't all negatives. I did think the defense did their job very well. We managed to minimize Palace, which is still decent. And I'm not going to start glorifying that because we didn't win the game, but we still did our job defensively. And especially Josh Achimpong, who's the third point I wanted to discuss. Definitely see the vision with him. At the start, he was a little bit nervous when it came to playing out from the back, especially when he had that mistake that led to the free kick that Eze scored from, which eventually got disallowed. But the passing got better, The ball carrying, you always know Achimpong has had that in his bag, and he will always have that in his bag. But then one thing that stood out to me, defensively, he did well against Mateta, a physical specimen in Mateta. Like, the brother's a beast, and he handled him, won the majority of his duels against him. He was never exposed defensively. He had one bad pass all game, and that was it. The rest, I cannot even try and look down on that performance. And like, I hope he can get more opportunities this season for Chelsea as well, because there is a talent in there. There's a real talent. If he can keep building up that composure that he already seems to have in spades in his game, if he can build that and get it to a point where he can start making those line-breaking passes earlier on in games, there might still be a role for him. There might be a role for him. Ideally, we still go in for another centre-back, but if we can't because of the whole registry issue, there might be something with Josh Achimpong. The fourth point, don't want to touch on it for too long before people say I'm running an agenda or anything, but Sanchez, that weren't good. That weren't good. And it weren't the shot stopping again, because I never really complained too much about that. It was first that punch in the back of the Palace player's head. And the passing. Passing went right back to what I've seen last season. Just long balls hoofed out for throw-ins again, or just into no man's land. It's like, bro, I thought we moved past this. I really thought we did. Well, a part of me also said this is why I want to judge it on a game-by-game basis, because I can't just, like, big up a player and be like, everything else is forgiven off the back of one final performance, because you lot know what I was like with Kai Havertz. He had that same narrative. But when it came to week in and week out in the Prem, you just weren't doing it for me. And it's the same thing here with Robert Sanchez. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a goalkeeper. And if we don't, I'll still back him every single game he plays for us. But I can't believe in him like that, because I just haven't had enough of a surface area to say, okay, I think Sanchez has properly turned the corner. There's been good games, especially in the last 4 months. But the passing has only been at a good level, or an acceptable level, I think, for the last month or two. And that's it. I wouldn't go to the back end of last season and say that his passing's got better. No, the shot stopping was just even more consistent, and the cross catching. So, yeah, it felt like 2 steps backwards with Robert Sanchez, but we'll see what he's got for us next game against West Ham. I mean, it's West Ham. They shouldn't even be having too many shots with us anyway. My final point, Estevao. Wow. He has to start on Friday, because like, there's a level of fearlessness in the way that he plays. And like, you see, as soon as he comes on, he was getting triple marked. He had moments in the game where he had 3 players on him, and he still didn't even like get scared of the situation. He was still holding off players, driving with the ball, and completing his actions. That's the sort of player that you want playing on the wing. He must start for me. Jamie Gittins, he still looks a little bit raw. Maybe West Ham would still be a good game for him anyway, just based off the size of the pitch and everything. But I want to see Estevao get some minutes. I really want to see him get some game time. So hopefully he starts. I think Estevao and Neto, that should be the move for us on Friday. But all in all, it's a very frustrating result. The performance left things to be desired, but it wasn't a car crash. It wasn't anything to ring any alarm bells about. It's just frustrating. It's annoying, because we would have ideally wanted to win this game and just keep it step into the next one. We didn't get that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the coming games, but I expect Chelsea to go straight back to winning ways. West Ham away does not feel as scary as West Ham away used to be. Like, these lot look like they could be going down this season. Same thing with Brentford away. That's our next 2 away games. Fulham at home is the one that I've got an eye on. And even then, last game aside, we know what our record's like at home against Fulham. 1 win in 45 years. So, it's all the Chelsea fans panicking, because I already saw a few after the game. Maresca's gone back to his old system, and all of that. Maresca's ruining Palmer. He's playing on the left again, even though Maresca said Palmer plays wherever he wants. He can free roam, but nobody remembers. Calm down. Like, it's not that bad, all right? It's just a frustrating result. But we'll see what happens in the next one. It's great to be back for 5 things we learned, though. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all of that shit. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. World champions. have left the building.